Hey guys, long time no see. So I'm gonna go right to it. I've been working on myself, with the Sedona Method lately, and I'm feeling pretty grateful for this tool. It really is a good time in my life to use it, and I feel ready to work with it, and I'm getting quite a lot from it. And this video, I think, will benefit people who have some experience with Sedona Method. Maybe also some people who are very oriented to emotional work in other systems might also benefit from it. What I want to bring is, I happened to come up with some kind of sequence of working with Sedona Method inspired way on a specific issue in my life or a specific theme. This is about the general difficulty I'm experiencing in my life, or the general challenge I am experiencing with relationships, with close relationships, especially friendships. The very short background is that I've been pretty much avoiding close relationships in the last something like 10 years at least. And there were beginnings of things, but I usually tend to not from an aware or from a place of willing it, but just that's the way it happens for me. I tend to somewhat avoid taking the relationship to the next level of real closeness and real friendship, close friendship. So if you have some similar situation long-standing in your life, you might find this interesting. Again, I want to say that all that I'm going to share in this process that I came up with is something that is really very much inspired from the Sedona Method. And I don't know, maybe there's exactly the same sequence, maybe it exists in the Sedona materials. I don't know, because I didn't do all the materials, only the basic ones, and maybe I didn't come across something, but it exists. Anyway, this is specifically for the thing that I was needing, and I think it may interest anyone that has the same need or the same issue. And the intention is to go through some kind of general cleanup of the sort of emotions and feelings that tend to come up in relationships, in close relationships for me. I had to come to the realization and also to admit that when I'm coming closer to someone, there are certain feelings and thoughts that always come up. Certain subjects and certain ways of just emotions and feelings. And thinking about that, I realized that I can take, you'll see soon how I did it, but that I can take all of these, sorry for the noise, I can take all of these general themes that come up for me when I start to get close to someone, or when I'm already inside a relationship, and I can do a kind of general cleanup that deals with the whole thing, with the whole subject. And then when I thought about it, I got an immediate sense of how to do it. And immediately I really had the urge of sitting down and writing it down and then performing it. And that's what I did all of this morning that I have vacation from work. And I'm just gonna read it, it's right here, that's why I'm just looking all the time to my bottom left side, because it's written here, okay? And I'm just gonna describe to you just how I did it. I'm not gonna take you the whole way through it, step by step. But I'm going to elaborate to a certain extent, and I hope you can just understand how to do it, and then you can just do it alone. So the idea is to write down all the kinds of emotions and feelings and thoughts that are reoccurring for me in relationships, and that I'm kind of ashamed of, and I'm trying to hide them from the other person, or even from myself, hide them from myself, and the kinds of feelings that tend to come up. There are a few really reoccurring ones, and then to do a release on them, as they say in Sedona Method, do a release on them in the following manner that I will describe. So, for the sake of this exercise, I chose a few friends that I feel that are suitable to think of when I'm trying to think what kind of emotions I tend to have. So I selected something like 5 people that I can contemplate about, which contemplating about will bring up those themes, those emotions. And I'll tell you what kind of emotions I came up with, and then I'll describe the releasing process. So, the kind of emotions that I tend to feel, I just wrote them down. It's not more than 10. I found out that I tend to, when I'm getting into a relationship or I'm in a relationship, I tend to feel that I'm jealous when the other person is successful, because I have a real issue in my own life with success. That's one. Another one is I tend to feel jealousy about the partnerships that the other person has, which are not with me. Either I'm envious at these partnerships or relationships, or when I worked on this, I actually found out that I'm sometimes not jealous or envious, but just rejecting the fact that they have these other relationships. I sometimes look for flaws and think about flaws, and I feel a general rejection of the fact that this other relationship is going on. So I wrote down just envy at another relationship or friendship. Another one is being critical about how the other person is behaving in his life, either morally or spiritually or in any way. Just criticism, being critical. Another kind of feeling I tend to have is distrust. Not trusting this person is credible, that I can trust him or her. Just a feeling that I cannot trust this relationship and this person. He's not consistent in his behavior and so on. Another one that I wrote is anger or being insulted because I'm being ignored. Another one is feeling guilty because I'm not available. What I mean by that is that sometimes I just feel that I'm not available to listen to the person or talk to them or be with them, and I just feel I want to be alone and with myself, and then I feel guilty that I cannot respond positively to their will or their request to be with me or to talk to me. Another guilt that I tend to feel is guilt about not accepting that person fully, or not being able. Sometimes I just feel I don't love. I just feel I don't love. I don't feel love. I can't recognize love in my feelings, and then I feel guilty because I'm in a relationship with that person, and I feel that I'm supposed to love them or to accept them, but sometimes I don't feel I accept everything about them, and then I feel, uh-oh, that's not good. So I feel guilty about it, and later I found out that there are other layers to that feeling. Another one is, oh my God, this is, I think, the most difficult one, that sometimes when a friend succeeds, sometimes when a friend fails, I feel like I'm gloating in their failure, that I'm happy they are failing. And this one is very difficult to me to think about and to admit to myself that this is a feeling I have. So yes, sometimes I feel that, I guess I'll give you a clue about this kind of feeling, that I guess that I feel that any success of a friend or failure is a reflection on me, has a reflection on me, on my own self-worth. So, never mind, but that's the feeling, like gloating when someone close to me is failing, sometimes. Another one is sexual attraction when it comes up in close relationship with the other sex. I have those feelings sometimes, and I find it confusing. So that's why it's not always appropriate or positive for the relationship to enact on that attraction. So that's why it's in the list. And another one that I have a lot is when I feel there's a sexual agenda that's managing the other person about me, and it is some kind of a secret agenda, not so quite aware, but I can feel it, so I feel anger. So I wrote down anger for sexual agenda in the relationship. Okay, so this gives you a clue about, or a sense about, what kinds of feelings I wrote down when I was thinking about which kind of feelings are coming up for me in relationships that make me in the end avoid relationships almost altogether, because there's so much baggage that starts to come up when I start to interact personally with and closely with friends, that I just don't want to handle it, and I just leave it. I rather just call the whole thing off, more or less. Maybe I'm a bit exaggerating, but I think not so much for me. So that's this part, the end of this part. My camera just does 30 minutes in a time, so I'm going to stop this recording. It's a good place to stop, and I'll start again in the next. See you later. Bye bye.